Hi friends, so it's Friday and I am exhausted. And I'll tell you, it's because there's so much going on in my life, which is a good thing, and I probably just need to pump the brakes a little bit. So I recorded a meditation on Sunday about this idea, like I've talked about before, and I've been writing about it and kind of meditating on it, this idea of there are no others, and a knowledge that I am you and you are me. And so it helps to eliminate the idea of us versus them. And that has been helpful, along with how am I really listening? This notion of active listening. And so I learned a lot about that when I was a clinical health coach in a primary care office. And I would do it and get an opportunity to practice it, because when I'm sitting with a patient and I say, so does this sound right? They could say, yes, that is accurately reflecting what I would like to share with my doctor. Or they'll say, no, it actually didn't happen that way. And so I can retell what I hear and say something along the lines of, so what I'm hearing you say is, and that gives the person that I'm speaking with an opportunity to say yes or no and expand on each of those. So as I'm listening, and I'm learning more myself in terms of best practices for communication and a willingness and honesty and open-mindedness with regards to communication. I'd shared with you guys, essentially listening as a third party as I communicate with other people, and being mindful of my presence and the words that I choose to use and kind of how I am with others. And then this idea of, especially when I don't agree with someone, am I really listening to what they're saying, or am I formulating my rebuttal? Am I really listening, or am I formulating a rebuttal to say, no, actually, you're wrong? And so I had a lovely conversation with two friends this afternoon, and we were talking about all sorts of stuff, which was awesome, and how we want to better communicate with people that we don't necessarily agree with their views on things, and how to do that, And so I understand, or I feel like, for example, Facebook fighting is really not helpful, but having a conversation with someone could be helpful. Like an actual, real, legit conversation in which we both seek to understand. There's a line in the Saint Prayer, it's Saint Prayer, the prayer of Saint Francis of Assisi, and it says, we seek to understand rather than be understood. And so that has been a powerful line for me in that prayer, insofar as it is very convicting to me. And when I say that, it means something in my soul responds to that, and it reminds me that I can work on that area of my life and I can become better at that. To understand rather than be understood. Because when I am trying to insert my opinions, my thoughts, my own approach into a conversation without hearing the other person, then it's just me talking, and it's not a conversation, it's a monologue. But when I sit there and I think and listen, actively listen while you're talking to me, especially if we don't see eye to eye on a topic, then I have the potential to have a new perspective shift, or a new perspective on an old issue. And perhaps my perspective does need to shift in that area. And maybe it doesn't. That's okay. I'm not going to condone certain things. I don't really care who's trying to instill a view on me on certain things because I just don't agree. And so I do that very Chidima-like. And I say, yeah, no, I don't agree with that. And I usually say it with a smile. Not always, but usually. And so that someone can talk to me until they're blue in the face and I just don't agree with that. And it's not sound and it doesn't make sense for me to change my position. I'm just not going to agree with it. And I can do it in a kind, compassionate, patient, and tolerant way. And that's okay, you know. So just a few musings of me. So I don't think I introduced myself at the beginning, but I think most of you know who I am. And so I'm Chidima, the Type A hippie, and I love connecting with you all every Friday. It's getting a little bit later and later, but we'll be right back on track next week in terms of an earlier video blog. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you were surrounded yesterday and most of this weekend with loved ones and loved foods. And until next time, take care. Bye.